Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Vet Tech Show. We are your hosts, Ben and Ethan, and we've got an exciting show planned for you tonight. Today, we're going to be going through some tech tips that might just save your life one day, or just maybe some good tech information for you to know. Um, for the first one that I've got, um, at, if you ever have a phone and you are in need of a charger, you can get your laptop charger to charge your dying phone. The good news is that they pair very well together. So modern laptop chargers often come with USB ports, and now that Apple has finally shifted over to USB-C, that means that your laptop charger and your phone will pair very nicely together. It's not just for convenience. USB-C can smartly adjust the power output. So using your laptop charger that's usually at a higher watt output for your phone is safe, and it's also efficient. You don't have to worry about overcharging your phone with too much power. Your phone's built-in smarts ensure that it only takes what it needs, which will preserve your phone battery, but it may charge your phone at a higher speed because you've got more wattage going into it. So this will get you back to a fuller battery in no time, and just make sure that both of your devices are USB-C compatible.
Yeah, don't try and smash that USB-C port into your old Lightning port on your iPhone.
No, they're not quite compatible.
Not quite, but all the new iPhones. So I'm actually really happy about that. Like, I'm really happy that Apple did move forward with all USB-C. That's really nice. Thanks to the EU and their lawmaking. We covered that in an older episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, Apple obviously has their reason for it, but it's, in my opinion, due to the laws that the EU made. So,
Yeah, it's a great move. And finally, I'm just a little bit closer to getting rid of the lightning cable.
yep.
Except now the Apple Vision Pros has their own proprietary lightning type connector.
Do they
So
really? I
yeah,
didn't know that. Are you serious?
yeah, there's no USB-C.
Why? That's so annoying. Oh, it's like a circle charger. Is that what I've seen like a
Yeah, so
circle?
that connects to the device, and then there's also like a weird lightning type connector that's not quite lightning, but it's bigger, that connects to the battery pack.
Oh my gosh, dude. Why
Missed
do they do
opportunity.
that? I know why they do that, but it's stupid. Make you buy their product.
Yeah.
So stupid for the consumer. Obviously, it's smart for Apple, but yeah. And well, I don't know. Maybe there's like some wattage output or input that is needed with the Vision Pros. There's a little bit more of a demand there, but I don't know.
I
Hard
don't
for me to
know.
believe that.
Yeah, because I mean USB-C that can deliver over 120 watts, which is more than what most devices need.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, interesting. That's frustrating to say the least.
Yeah.
But um, I have tech tips that I use in my daily life that have like made my life that much better, and that's what I'll share. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, I like it.
My first one, I have a few, but my first one is installing smart cameras in my common rooms of our house.
Ooh.
And I really like that because number one, security. Number two, it's like if I leave the house with my wife and kids and we're like, oh, did you like turn off the lights, or do we close the fridge, or do we close the garage? Like, I can't remember. Like, turn on, check the camera. We can just like live stream. Or like he said, she said, we will pull up evidence from the camera on he said, she's, I do this all the time with my kids. It's so funny. The kids will be like, you did this, and I said this, and you said this, and he did that. And we're like, let's pull it up on the camera. let's pull it up. And then we go through, we watch it, and then we make a joke of it, like, oh, you were right, or like, oh, you were wrong. And it's really funny. Of course, we don't like, it's not in like any, private bedrooms or anything like that. We don't do that. It's the common rooms. So like I have one in our main hallway next to like our front entrance. And then I have one in our living room, kitchen, our backyard, our front driveway, and in our uh, garage, like I said.
Mhm.
And then I have like some upstairs in the hallways and stuff. But um, anyway, yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice to have, and like I said, it's just a really good reference. And then like also if we're gone on trips, it's really nice for us to like check in on things. If we get like a ring notification, I'll just like hit up our backyard and front yard to see like
Mhm.
any kind of movement or anything. Like what was that?
Nice.
It just yeah adds a lot of dynamic to our life from like a peace of mind perspective.
What type of camera did you go with?
So I went with Wise because they're affordable and they're really easy to install. We have multiple kinds of their cameras. So they have like their standard camera that's plug into the wall. We have a few of those. And then we have a few wireless cameras. You have to recharge them, but they don't really take that much. They don't really have to be recharged that often. There's a couple outdoor cameras that I have, like I mentioned, that they're like waterproof and weatherproof, which is great. And then and I have those like installed high up. And then there's one that I haven't gotten, but it's like a 360-degree moving camera that tracks
Oh,
movement.
cool.
I haven't gotten that one just because I haven't really found it to be necessary in my house yet.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, we have quite a bit. The night vision is really good on them. The newer ones that like their standard camera, like V4, V3, has really good colored night vision, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And then I don't, they have a service. Well, they'll monitor and then also have cloud upload of like historical video. And it's pretty affordable. I don't do that. I just have like a 128 megabyte micro SD card or 128 gigabyte micro SD card in the camera. And so then I can go back a couple days on the phone from
Okay.
that chip, and it's
Cool.
just a roll forward. And then if you want on the app, you can record clips and download them. And then you can do whatever you want with that downloaded clip, right? So it's really easy and user friendly. And then they have like a lot of other tech home stuff that you can sync all in your app. Like we have a scale that I use, like a smart scale for like I'm somewhat into fitness, and so like tracking, my body fat percentage and other things like that. It's kind of nice. And there's a few others. There's a few other things. So
Nice.
yeah, we like Wise. It's pretty decent company.
Cool.
So
Have to
yeah,
check that out.
yeah. The guy who started Wise, really cool dude. His daughter was pretty popular on YouTube for like singing Disney songs, and he would like play the guitar for her. And then he even starred on the show The Voice as
Oh,
like a contestant. Um, but he does Wise full time. Really cool dude. From what it seems like, I've never met him, but yeah,
sweet.
yeah,
Cool. Yeah. Smart home tech. Awesome stuff.
yeah. I really like it. So
Can almost get a little overwhelming with how much there is, but I think
yeah, so that's one thing I want to talk about in this episode today is like things that I want to do in my office, especially that I haven't done yet. But I have like the items in hand. I just haven't set it up yet.
oh,
So
nice. You want to get into that now?
yeah, we can.
Yeah, let's do it.
So in my office, so our house, we use the Amazon smart home devices for the most part. And we have it hooked up to our Ring, so my Wise cameras hook up to it as well. So like we have in the kitchen like an Amazon Echo Show with like a 11 incher. And
Mhm.
so like our kids, if they're in the basement playing, we could be like, hey, device, show us the Johnson basement, and it'll pull up the camera.
Mhm.
And then we also have like um, our temperature. We have an Ecobee, Ecobee, whatever that is. We have the temperature on there. We have our Ring camera on there. Anyway, in my office, I'm like still building on my office, which is taking decades. Not literally, but it's taking too long. I have Go V lights, which if you don't know Go V, they're like uh, a lot of gamers use Go V, but they're very much tech-minded devices that they make different tiers. Some are just like app controlled, and others are like home device controlled. They connect to your home devices like Google Home or the Amazon Home devices or whatever it might be.
I've
And I
heard
have
people
multiple
compare,
lights like in hand.
yeah, I've heard people compare Govee as like the Tesla for lights.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people like him. I would somewhat agree with that, and I also feel like they're compared to like shoot, I'm blanking on the competitor. They make RGB lights for like your TV, and then also like overhead color changing RGB lights. Oh man, I'm blanking on the main provider, but Gobi is pretty affordable, is what I'm the point I'm trying to
Mhm.
make here. And so I have like lots of Govi lights, and I also have like a projector that can connect to um, Alexa, the Amazon smart home device, and then I have a few other things in my office. And the idea is to like connect it all so that when I come into my office, I can say to the device like, "Hey, let's get to work," and it sets my work mode up. So like oranger dimmer lights for concentrating on work. And then if I want to like game, or if I want to do like a podcast setup, the idea is to have different settings so I can just have it all controlled from my smart home device. That's the goal. And it's a little overwhelming. Like there's so much to learn with the automations and setting them up and connecting it all, and then also just like installing it. Like I have it in boxes in my office and I just haven't installed it yet. So that's like one of my goals this weekend. And then also next weekend's a 3-day weekend for me. So my goal is in February to get it all set up and figured out. So
Nice.
yeah.
Govee, I 100% recommend Govee. We put their permanent outdoor lights on our house, and they're really nice. A lot of our neighbors have given us quite a bit of compliments on how well they look. They're super simple to set up. You can do a lot with their app. Um, and now seeing them, I'm like, okay, I need to get like those Govee hexagons and put them throughout my office.
Yeah, the Gobi hexagons, those are pretty cool. I have thought about getting the permanent lights outdoors as well, and I was gonna do it this year, and then my wife, I was literally gonna tell my wife, I started saying, hey, in regards to outdoor lights, and this is before Christmas. I said, hey, in regards to like our Christmas lights, and she cut me off. She's like, oh, they're coming tomorrow. And I'm like, who's coming tomorrow? She's like, yeah, I bought lights and I'm just paying installers to install them and take them down every year. And I'm like, no, no. Like, why did we not talk about this? Like, number one, that's expensive. Number two, why did you move forward with that? Like, but she was being really good wife and just getting things done and getting ready for the holidays. So I shouldn't complain. But maybe in our next house.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but good for you, man. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. So love Govee. Good product. Good product.
Yeah, the competitor Philips Hue lights.
Oh yes.
That's what I was thinking of, which are top quality. You can't get anything better than Philips Hue lights, honestly, but they are top quality dollar. Like you're
Yeah.
paying premium for a premium product, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and Govi's still really good quality in my opinion. I've loved the products that I have. I have a few different lights already in my house. I have like a corner light bar that I have, and a few other devices like lights from them, and really enjoyed them. So
Nice. I like
yeah.
it. Well, getting on the topic of like um, getting your setup ready and getting accessories and whatnot. A myth that I want to bust is that if you've ever seen expensive cables like those gold plated HDMI cables and whatnot, you should not be buying expensive cables. Digital cables like those HDMIs and USB cables, they really work with ones and zeros, and the data either makes it or it doesn't. So fancy cables really don't make your movies any more HD or your data transfer faster.
Hmm.
What really matters is your compatibility, the build quality, and making sure that it meets your standards. So, like, if you need HDMI 2.1, you want to make sure that you get HDMI 2.1. The gold-plated connectors that sound fancy, they're really only good if you're in a high humidity area, but in areas where that's not an issue, it's really just a shiny upsell.
Hmm.
So, for all of you out there that are looking for cables for your setups, make sure that you don't get tripped by these fancy cables. Just get well made cables that match the specs that you're looking for at a fair price. And that's really all you need. And then you can save the rest for your other tech or your games or anything else that you need.
That's good to know. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wasn't really aware of it. Um, I probably should be more on top of my connector cables. I could be like missing out on higher quality content coming to my screens if I don't have the right cables. Something for me to look into.
Yeah, because like I always say that like going through Best Buy, they'll always be marketing like these $150 HDMI cables that are like only 3 feet long. And I'm like, why would anyone want to pay that much? But their marketing is like so good. It's like, you need this cable, otherwise kittens will die or something like that.
Exploding kittens. They just have the
Exploding.
game right next to it. Like, this is what's going to happen if you don't get this cable.
Exactly.
Exploding kittens. Yeah,
So,
that's weird. That's crazy. Um, Interesting. Yeah. I have another item that I don't use as much, but when I do, it's really nice. Um, and that's the Wi-Fi alert system on my washer and dryer and on my
oh,
fridge and on my fridge. And totally unnecessary. And to be honest, when we bought the house, we were fortunate enough to buy it from someone who wanted to leave their appliances. And the person who bought the appliances, like single dude, bought the like really nice appliances, smart tech. And so for us, it was pretty nice because we come in and we're like, oh, we don't have to buy appliances. It just comes with the house. And so I've connected like my washer and dryer. I've like paused the alerts on them though, but when I did have them on, it was pretty nice because sometimes sometimes we'll go like a day or two of just like leaving the clothes in the washer or dryer. And then we'll have to like if it's in the washer, we'll have to rewash them again and it just isn't good. And so it was nice when I had it set up. I need to like I don't know why I paused them but to have them up and to like remind me like, oh, I need to switch the laundry or like, oh, the fridge door was open, like I left it open or my kids left it open. It's kind of nice. Or like filters.
oh
Sometimes like
yeah.
the air filter in the fridge or the water filter in the fridge. That's nice to know when to change those. So yeah.
Yeah. We got those set up too. So when we bought our house that we're in now, unfortunately, all the appliances were either dumb, so we replaced all of the appliances.
Hmm.
If you ever would need a way to waste money buying all new appliances for a house, perfect. Best way to waste money.
That and gold plated HDMI cables.
Yes. Nevertheless, so we got all these nice smart appliances, and it's like a real game changer to have a fridge that gives you alerts to your phones of like when you need to replace the water filter.
Yeah.
And even a step up, like we can connect our fridge to our Amazon account. So it'll just automatically order a new filter when you need
Oh,
it.
that's really nice.
Yeah. So like all of a sudden the other day, the filter came on my doorstep. I'm like, oh, I guess I need a new water filter.
That's sweet. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Go
like
ahead.
those smart appliances, I really like it, especially like we've got our range is connected to Wi-Fi as well. So it's like really cool. Like if you're going out, get a Papa Murphy's pizza and nobody's home, you can preheat the oven on your way home and it's ready
Oh,
once you get in.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That is really nice, actually. I could have used that today. I could have used that today. I had to go downstairs and like turn on the oven and like wait until it was ready. And I was like, man, like I wanted to finish up work before I got, my lunch break. And it would have been nice if I could just been on my phone at my desk, turn on the oven, be alerted when it's ready, and then I could just go down and then put the food in. Like, sure, like maybe that's petty of me to be like, oh, it's such a pain to wait like 10, 15 minutes to preheat the oven, whatever it might be. But it's like the small things, the
Yeah.
convenience, you know?
Yeah. I
So
mean, technology is a tool. It's supposed to make our lives more convenient. So if
yeah,
it can, why not?
yeah, exactly. One funny story about smart fridges though is we finished our basement and so we took trips to like Home Depot and Lowe's. And one time we went to go get like the bathroom finishings for like the door handle and the vanity.
Mhm.
And my kids came along, and the bathroom stuff was next to the appliances. And they had a fridge there with a big screen. I'm sure you've seen this. And it was connected to the internet. Dude, I don't know why, but it was on full blast volume, and my kids started playing this dumb fart song on YouTube. And I don't know how they did it, but the entire store could hear this song about farts coming from this fridge. I come around, like, I'm looking at the bathroom stuff, and all of a sudden I hear this song just start blaring through the store. And I come around the corner, and my kids are just in front of the fridge, like dancing, you know. I'm like, no, no, we're turning this off now, and I'm like spamming the pause button on the YouTube. It was just crazy. It was just crazy. It made me not want to buy that fridge. So
Uh, Full disclosure, we have that fridge in our house.
don't let my kids come over, Ethan. Do
Okay.
not let them come over. They will play dumb YouTube songs on your phone or on your fridge. So the
Uh,
speakers are loud on that thing,
yeah,
man.
I'm rather impressed with how they are. I mean, like you can play Crab Rave on there, and it sounds pretty good. Yeah, sounds pretty good.
That's a popular one too for us. That's a
Yeah,
very popular one.
that is
So
like my go-to sound system test song. So, like if you're ever testing out a sound system, if Crab Rave sounds great, the rest of everything else is going to be good.
you're like, this will capture it all.
Yeah,
Crab rate.
it's a good benchmark.
Yeah,
Benchmark.
that's fair. That's fair. It is a good benchmark. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, funny. What else you got? What other tech tips you got? I've got a couple
Ooh,
more.
yeah. Next tech tip is dealing with Wi-Fi routers, and
Ooh.
something that people may not be aware of. So if WPS is enabled on your router, while it may be convenient, it is a huge security risk on your routers. So WPS is Wi-Fi protected setup. It usually sounds great. It allows you to connect devices with the push of a button or a pin, but it's like leaving your digital front door unlocked, allegedly. WPS can be easily exploited by hackers, and they don't even need brute force to get your password. They just need like the WPS pin, and they're pretty much onto your Wi-Fi. So turning it off is pretty simple. You usually need just to access your router settings, usually through the web browser, and going through that admin password and finding the WPS option, and then disable it. And then your peace of mind is restored. You'll usually need to connect devices manually, which is what most of us do anyway with our password, but it's a small price to pay for gaining some extra security on your network to prevent any unwelcome guests.
That's a good tip. I think a lot of people don't realize that. And with the day and age is of the world is just so involved in technology and connecting devices. Um, People are a lot smarter nowadays than just pop-up ads, and it's really important to be able to protect your devices and especially like your home network, um, because that's where like all your private information is. So that's a really good tip.
Yeah, and especially if you've got cameras around your house too, like preventing people from getting access to those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really good tech tip. I like that one a lot. Um, my next one is in relation to ChatGPT. I'm
Oh, nice.
sure I'm sure we've all used ChatGPT for a lot of things. Um, but the one that I've used it recently for that I've loved is really just organizing my life and my schedules. Sometimes I follow it, sometimes I don't. But I essentially said to ChatGPT, "Hey, I want you to be like my executive assistant and just organize my life as I need it in order to maximize my time as effectively and efficiently as possible." And then I gave it a list of all the things that I like to do. So, like volunteer for our church youth, soccer on Saturday mornings for an hour and a half, uh, going to church, date night, family night, work for X amount of hours every day, certain personal passions, whether it be like our podcast Thursday night or whatever night we film, editing videos. I just gave it like a ton of lists and I said, organize it by day, by hour, and it was really cool with what it came up with, and then also just tweaking it. And then if anything comes in, I go back to that thread and I say, "Hey, I have these events coming up. Coming up, can you adjust my schedule for this week or for the next week to accommodate these things?" And then make adjustments to those items that are flexible, and then it'll do that. Um, at first, it didn't get everything right, and so I had to like massage it, but it was really nice to have that done instead of just me opening up like an Excel sheet, writing down all the hours with like a grid, and then trying to plug it in myself. That was really nice. And
That's a really great idea. I hadn't ever thought of doing that.
yeah, I did it for that. And then the other thing that I did it for, which my kids actually liked, was I had it come up with a few different options of responsibility with reward actions for my family, for my kids. And so I gave it the background of my kids, like, hey, I have three kids, two boys, here are the ages, whatever. And they're very capable. This is the size of our house. This is X amount of bedrooms, X amount of bathrooms, kitchen, dining room, whatever. And I said, give me a list of chores that are age appropriate for these kids. And then I gave a list of chores. And then I said, give us a reward system, whether that be like strikes for punishment or stars for earning X amount of rewards or allowance or screen time. And it came up with options. And so my kids, we talked about it with my kids, we like this system of when they do chores, they get stars. And once they get stars accumulated, then they get rewards, whether that be like screen time, extra screen time, or whether that be like an extra amount of money per that month or week. And so it's kind of cool to leverage Chat GPT in my personal life just to organize it and relieve some stress off of us. So
I like that. I'm gonna have to start using that because
yeah,
I've really just had it focus a lot on my professional work, and didn't think of the applications that it could have personally.
yeah, yeah. It's really interesting. I think the tough thing that I always forget about is when I'm providing the prompt. Sometimes I'm like I miss the information that I need to give it, and I'm like, oh crap, like it doesn't know how big my house is or what's applicable from like a chore perspective in my house.
Right.
So that just, for those listening, I just recommend just be thorough with your prompt. I know it might be a pain to like type out another paragraph, but it helps in the long run. That paragraph will only take you 30 seconds, but it'll help in the long run when building out that request from ChatGPT. So
Yeah, I like it.
yeah,
All right. The last tech tip that I have for the evening is for anyone that's ever having problems with lag in your video games. So generally the thought is with that maybe if you ramp up your internet plan for smoother and smoother streaming and gaming may help, but actually conversely, faster speeds may not be the hero that you think. One of the common myths is that as you bump up your internet speed, all your internet woes will disappear, but that's usually not the case. First up, there's you've got to combat bandwidth versus latency. And if you think of internet as a highway, more lanes, which is bandwidth, means more cars, which can be data, can move at once, but that doesn't make the cars go faster. That's how latency is. High speeds mean you can download or stream more at once, but if your latency is high, your games will still lag and your videos will still need to buffer. So the fix for latency is to check what your ping is for online games. If it is below 50 milliliters or 50 ms, that's great. Above 100 ms, you're going to notice some lag. So make sure you position your router centrally away from any interference and consider a wired connection for gaming. Also, if you make sure that all other devices are not accessing the internet at the same time that you're gaming, and you're with that reduces the amount of noise, so your latency is reduced and you have better game experience.
that's interesting. Yeah, the latency is something that I knew about ping, but I didn't know how impactful it was, and I just thought it was directly related to your speed of your internet. Um, that's actually really good to know. So something that for me to look into. Um, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so as we go on our um, boys and coop retreat here in the next couple of months,
Let's go.
that's going to be a consideration. We're probably going to have a lot of latency because there's going to be so many of us on the same network.
Yeah, exactly. We may want to have a couple people do hotspot or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Let's see. Trying to think if I had another one here. Going through my list. Let's see. I pretty much handles it all for me. Uh, Trying to think of other tech hacks in my life that I've had. I probably should have prepared a little bit more, but um, yeah, that's kind of it for me. But
Okay.
I don't really have too much else. I'm sure there's a lot that I'm not thinking of, and maybe we should do like a V2 of this,
Yeah, I
and
think we should.
as we like compile and go throughout. But I'd love to, if anyone's listening to this, I just like would love to know what are some other tech tips or tech hacks that people use in their life? Like, what are the best tech hacks you have? You know, feel free to share it, comment it, whatever. I'm really curious to know.
Yeah, put it in the chat or put it in the comments, and we'll get to those comments. We'll make sure that uh, if based on what comments we get, we'll put those in our V2 and we'll talk about them.
Yep.
So we want to thank everyone for sticking with us and for supporting us here on our channel. Make sure you thumbs up if you liked it. Um, the other that thumbs down, that other button works all right too. Make sure you send it to somebody you dislike if you dislike it. As always, ringling that dingling button so you never miss any content as it's posted on the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful evening and stay classy.
Peace.